Welcome to another edition of NutriRebel Red Pill Edition, where we try to reach neglected demographics, and there's many of them. Anyway, today we're going to be talking regarding the concept of if it isn't broken, don't fix it, and many of us maintain that mindset. Similar to, say, a non-living object like a car. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Don't try to improve it because you're just going to mess something up. That's what many tinkerers, people who like to tinker with things, run into. But the problem is, a car is not the same as a person. Anyway, but that's the way the medical system treats humans, is that they view us and treat us like cars in a 10-minute drive-through visit. Therefore, like I was saying in other videos, if you think you're going to stick to the old way of doing things, waiting till you get sick, it's very bad policy. Because if you think that it's going to be, you're just kind of a quick death one day, no. Most of the time, it's degenerative aging, and you have injuries. The top, as you see in the subsequent videos, the top problems with healthcare is that most people's health is chronic pain, and most of it is because of injuries that we sustain, especially at work. Like I said, we can stick our head in the sand, but we have to try to take preventive action. So, here's the video.
Hey Daryl, how's it hanging?
Yeah, how's it hanging? When we encounter someone we know or we just met, we don't really ask them how's their health. We ask them how's it going. It's kind of an insincere greeting. But and we're wearing clothing, we don't see the health beneath the clothing, right? And so it's hard to tell how people are feeling, how their health is, but we just see each other like non-living objects. Anyway, here's an example of a tinkerer. If it isn't broke, don't fix it. This is what many people think that happens with their health if they try to modify it and try to restore their youthful thinking and appearances, and or try to reverse aging.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Yeah, don't fix it.
Those on the left often act as if human beings are just like inert blocks of wood,
Yep.
or like chess pieces that you can move around on the chessboard to put wherever you want to carry out some grand design.
Yeah, speaking on the political spectrum, which is kind of simplistic, left versus right type thing, very simplistic. But he's mentioning that people on the left, maybe you can agree that they tend to view others and themselves as mere blocks of wood to be moved around on a chessboard. You see politicians treating us like that, like they're herding sheep. Well, most people are, I guess, but it shouldn't be that way. Anyway, we shouldn't view ourselves like that.
But of course, people react to these things. Any discussion of people in the abstract drives me crazy, because there are no abstract people. 100 years ago, people understood that.
Yeah. Here's somebody, it says, me entering another year listening to the same playlist I've had for over 30 years. You can see she's drinking morning coffee. Many people have these same routines, and you can see that they're going kind of crazy, like a rat trapped in a cage. They have the same routines, almost the same everything. I'm living with, I'm renting an apartment. I'm renting a room in an apartment, and I see one of the other guys acts like this every single morning. Bowl of oatmeal, like it's the same spot, the same everything. You could tell that they're going like the elasticity of their mind is gone, and they don't do things differently. They get used to this. They get used to doing the same routine every morning, and if there's any changes, they go crazy. It's really sad. It's like they're starting to go senile.
To maintain a relationship with a woman, you need to maintain a high level of attraction. And to maintain a high level of attraction, you need to continue to be the person that the woman fell in love with.
And this is a large reason why relationships fail, with especially men and women. we start to get old. Like I said, we start to go kind of senile. and our looks fade. And that doesn't have to be. You can keep those. You can keep all these useful characteristics, but many people don't know how. You don't know how, and instead they follow the generalized information they see on practitioners online, especially social media, all kinds of things. It's really sad.
There is no healing in medicine today. It is a sad truth today in medicine that your physician specialist goes to medical school, does their undergrad, or even additional specialty training, and after all of that, they may recommend just Imodium for your GI issue. The fact that I've had this conversation collectively hundreds and hundreds of times leads me to the conclusion that there is almost no healing in conventional medicine.
Therefore, you need to stop the if it isn't broke, don't fix it mentality. And many people still maintain that. Instead of waiting to get sick and take Imodium, and what do you think that does? Proton pump inhibitors, those class of drugs tend to block B complex, especially vitamin B12, and it inhibits B12 absorption. What do you think is going to happen to you? Anyway, we'll continue.
Now, where were we?
Yeah, you don't want to end up like Pinhead. It's going to be painful.
Certainly if you have something chronic. In my profession, one of the great physicians of history said that the highest level of medicine is no medicine.
Another man would have been humiliated to say those words. Another man would have rather died than asked for help.
Yes, many men are trained to be strong. Be strong, and if you start complaining about symptoms, then they will label you as a weakling, and you'll be.
You're a bad man.
Yeah.
You're a very bad man.
That's why many men especially don't ask for help, because that's what happens to you. You're a bad man. You're not a reliable provider anymore. Anyway, that clip is from Star Trek. Yep.
In today's Daily Health, there's a new study on chronic pain in America.
Yeah, it finds that more people are suffering from chronic pain and at higher rates than other common conditions. According to the CDC, 21% of adults reported living with chronic pain, which was more common than diabetes, depression, and heart disease.
And what do people do when they have pain?
Let's get high.
Yep, let's get high, baby. I would look up the scientists and politicians here. They're the founders of the modality that I practice, orthomolecular nutrition. This should be the basis for every modality of healthcare, but it's not. Instead, what many people will talk about is nutrition. What does that mean? It's not Twinkies and steaks or eating healthy food. It's a targeted analysis of what your body needs and what it doesn't. And it's quite complex, but makes it more simple in the long run.
The CDC uses the definition of pain most days or every day in the last 3 months or so. And what we've learned from this study is that an astounding number of people in the U.S. actually do meet that criteria.
Do we know why? Do we know why the numbers are getting bigger, the numbers are rising?
So one theory is that people are just living longer. We have higher survival rates from, say, surgery or disease.
So you see, they're saying chronic pain is like the top. So if you think that you're going to escape old age and you don't have to worry about this stuff, no, because most of the time you're not going to die. You're not going to die a simple death. You're going to die a long, painful death. It's called aging and injury.
Disease, but that could mean more chronic pain later in life. We also have a huge barrier in access to treatments, including affordability and insurance coverage. And we know that if people don't get treated earlier, that increases their odds of chronic pain later in life. And then finally, we have a sort of suck it up mentality in this country that prevents people from showing up to the doctor. Oftentimes there is sort of
Yeah, suck it up, baby, because if you don't, you're going to be a bad man, like we said before. We have to get out of that mentality, like she said.
just the standard prescription painkillers or opioids that they prescribe and sort of send people on their way. So we need to have better processes for people to show up to the doctor and for doctors to know how to appropriately treat.
Who was the father of Western medicine, said, "Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food." And he wasn't far wrong.
And here's the illness-wellness continuum. So if you, like I said, if you think that you're just going to wait till you get sick, I said, no, see on the left side, there's disability, symptoms, and signs. There's many signs that occur before you develop a chronic illness. And if you're very unlucky, you'll have an injury, and then you'll have even more problems. Therefore, you have to avoid that type of mindset. But it's tough to break us out of that because we've been trained to run to the doctor when we get sick. Nothing entirely wrong with that, but the side effects are really bad because it's separating the body into component parts for easier study and symptom management, not actually curing you. But anyway, you can watch my other videos that explain these types of concepts. That would be greatly appreciated. And please like and subscribe.